got a lot of work to do?
Yeah. I gotta water grass, pick stuff up, pick sticks, chairs, all kinds of stuff up.
What about the chickens? You gonna feed them?
Yeah.
You do? What about the eggs?
Yeah, I'll check. I'm gonna check them. I'm gonna check the mail.
Well, I already checked the mail.
Okay. Any?
Yeah, we did get a few things. Bills.
Okay, I'm gonna run over there and water the grass over there. I'll be in the time 1. Okay?
What time?
1.
1? Well, it's like, it's 5:40 right now.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta hurry and pick some sticks up and water the grass.
All right. Love you.
Love you, bye. Yeah.
You got a lot of work to do?
Yeah.
Well, hello there, partner. Go on and hang up your hat, grab yourself a whiskey, and pull up in the easy chair. We're coming off the range of 9 to 5s with a whole herd of news stories that we've been steaming over like a cow patty in the Texas heat. As they say, the chickens are finally coming home to roost. And we're here to ruffle some feathers and ensure accountability ain't just a concept, it's reality. It's that time where the day's drama casts its longest shadow. So let's light a candle to the chaos of current events, the whirlwind of politics, and the tangled webs of corruption that we find ourselves entwined by. It's time to ramble our way into the twilight. Welcome to Sunset Rants.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to Sunset Rants. Happy Cinco de Mayo, Brian. Oh, I'm not hearing you for some reason. I'm sorry, love. Just give him a second. Welcome to Sunset Rants. We have some stories that we're going to be talking about today. We got a big one that everybody's talking about. Trump orders reopening of Alcatraz. Trump proposes $1,000 incentive for voluntary deportation. The Vatican schedules conclave following Pope Francis' resignation. Louisiana valedictorian secures nearly $3.4 million in scholarships. Keith Hernandez's drag bunt comment sparks confusion. And don't forget to stick around for the end of the show where we play our game, Caption This. Just remember, you could follow us on X at @TheRealRoma_AK and on Rumble at RomaNation, all one word. You can also follow me on X if you like, Illeagalresidents213A. And hey, Brian.
Do you have me now?
Yes, I do. Hello.
Yeah, once again, the
audio.
Thing is my audio thing between our voice check literally 20 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now decided to.
I know.
So I had to do some quick
reconfiguration.
Do some magic behind the scene. Not really magic. Just throw a Band-Aid on the problem to get us through the stream. So
I say in prayers for the sticky.
Well, the good news is I won't be able to do any of my, stupid soundboard tricks or anything like that. Not that I ever do that anyway, but. So.
No problem. And of course, you can follow Brian here on X at Brian Tidwell1, or you can just look up "Get Off My Lawn," which that's what I do when I look for him.
Let me throw up your sign right quick. I know you already said your handle, but there you go.
Did. Thank you. All right, so yeah, we got the big story that everybody's talking about this today. Coming to you from the U.S. Sun, Devil's Island. Trump has proudly announced that he is directing his government to, quote, reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz. Yeah. America's most ruthless and violent offenders will be housed in the long shuttered prison just off San Francisco, California. I know Nancy Pelosi mentioned something about this. She said that it's not going to be something that's going to happen. We shall see. Everything that Trump seems to set his mind to, definitely going to be in motion. That's for sure. We have a Truth Social post from Mr. President. He said, rebuild and open Alcatraz. For too long, America has been plagued by vicious, violent, and repeat criminal offenders, the dregs of society who will never contribute anything other than misery and suffering. When we were a more serious nation in times past, we didn't hesitate to lock up the most dangerous criminals and keep them far away from anyone they can harm. Basically, Alcatraz was housed by people that just kept breaking out of the regular prisons, like the worst of the worst, right? So that was basically like the prerequisite for getting into there. I know there's a guy.
Back in the day, that was where the Federal Bureau of Prison, that's where they sent the problem children, was to Alcatraz. Has a lot of advantages for, I've got a fairly strong opinion about this.
I know.
There's a lot of reasons why Alcatraz made sense, to put, the worst or the best escape artists in the federal prison system. It's the island in the middle of San Francisco Bay,
waters. Yep.
Allegedly shark-infested waters. Everything. Access to and from that island is by boat, is by ferry. So nothing comes onto that island, nothing comes off of that island except by boat, or, well, I guess they've probably built a helipad over there by now, but you get the idea.
Drones and such, yeah.
Yeah. So while that makes it a very secure location, it also makes it a very expensive and very difficult location to maintain a permanent presence. And at the end of the day, you still have to have a permanent presence. When Alcatraz was active, they had housing units there for, permanent staff that lived there. Hell, I think there was even an elementary school there.
Really?
For the kids of the staff of the people that lived there. So this is not something that, well, go ahead. Go ahead.
There's a couple of things that I looked up here because I remember you were talking about the costs and everything earlier. One thing to note is Alcatraz now is basically a museum. They have guided tours. Right. One of the old inmates, like one of the last ones that is still alive, Bill Baker, he goes there and he does some tours. He signs some, he wrote a book, Alcatraz 1259 or something, and he signs the book, and he, kind of tells everybody about his experience there. But they host about 1.6 million visitors annually, and it generates about $60 million in annual revenue. So that apparently goes to the National Park Service.
Right.
I would be very interested to know if it actually did go anywhere to that effect because of all the things that we're finding out now. But that's a whole other story. But there's a lot of talk that not only will they be using it to house the worst of the worst of American citizens, but it might be a place to send some of the illegal migrants that they're trying to deport. And it might be kind of like a deterrent. Like you can either, because we're going to talk about the next story and that'll kind of like tie into this as well. But it kind of be like, you can either take this idea, which we'll talk about next, or you can go into one of these horrible prisons, kind of like, maybe like a deal, as he likes to make. But I don't know. It is going to be a costly project. It would cost hundreds, maybe $100 million or something like that.
at the end of the day, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. Okay, yeah, you can, you know, Trump said, we want to make Alcatraz stood as a symbol of law and order. Well, to some people, it stood as a symbol of law and order. To some people, it stands as a symbol of federal government tyranny. And do you really want to double down on that? Reopen the place, spend all the money you got to spend to bring it up to modern standards, for that type of facility, and then that's your legacy. Oh, well, we've reopened Alcatraz. Now it's official. Alcatraz is where you go and you never come back, and that's Donald Trump's legacy. I think it's a dumb move politically. I think it's unnecessary. Let's be honest. The U.S. government already has plenty of places it can send people that it doesn't ever want to come back from.
Like supermax prisons and whatnot.
Supermax prisons, Gitmo. Which that's a debate for a different day, but yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is like certain areas are for certain things. I mean, this guy, Bill Baker, he was a former inmate, so he eventually did get out once he did his time. I don't know. I mean, I don't find, see, the thing is like, they already have to, I mean, we talked about this beforehand. They already have to keep it up in some way because they're using it for tours. However, they're making money off of those tours. So if that money that they're making, $60 million annually from the tours, if they're making that, I guess that they would put that back into keeping it so that way, as you said earlier, the concrete doesn't come falling on somebody's head when they're walking around the place.
Well, that's the thing. The whole reason the place was closed down in the first place is because if you look at where it's in the middle of San Francisco Bay, the salt air is notoriously corrosive. The place is built out of reinforced concrete. Well, once the reinforced bars that's embedded in that concrete, rusts away. Well, the concrete doesn't have whole much structure. Blocks of the building can fall on people in places there. So yeah, they got to do, I would imagine the majority of that goes right back into keeping the parts of the place that they've reinforced so they're safe for, people to walk through without a damn hard hat on. Yeah.
Al Capone was there. Yep.
Yeah.
He was one of the notorious prisoners. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping, we're all hoping for a ton of arrests for a lot of terrible corruption and terrible crimes that are going on.
Oh, that's the other thing. Where are these terrible criminals you're going to put in there, Mr. President? I mean, if you're going to renovate it and renovate a spot for, I don't know, Adam Schiff and
oh my God, I was thinking
Clinton, or okay. Maybe then the juice is worth the squeeze, but I remain unconvinced. And given the amount of inaction, on the Justice Department side, that all of us, I think, at least most folks who voted for Trump this time, were expecting to see, we haven't seen. You've all seen that meme of, the Pam Bondi in action figure. We already had the discussion about the first 100 days and my low grade, but no need to revisit that. I guess we can go into the next one.
Yeah. And it kind of like, because I did want to talk about a couple of things that people were throwing around, and it goes into the next thing here. So we got the AP article, I know.
Yeah. There you go.
Trump administration says it will pay immigrants in the U.S. illegally $1,000 to leave the country. Pushing forward with its mass deportation agenda, President Donald Trump's administration said Monday that it would pay $1,000 to immigrants who are in the United States illegally and return to their home country voluntarily. The Department of Homeland Security said in a news release that it would also pay for travel assistance and that people who use an app called CBP Home to tell the government they plan to return home will be deprioritized for detention and removal by immigration enforcement. But if you are here illegally, self-deportation is the best, safest, most cost-effective way to leave the United States to avoid arrest, says Secretary Kristi Noem. DHS is now offering illegal aliens financial travel assistance and a stipend to return to their home country through the CBP Home app. The department said it already paid for a plane ticket for one migrant to return home to Honduras from Chicago and said more tickets have been booked for this week and next. So people are already taking the bait. Trump made immigration enforcement and the mass deportation of immigrants in the United States illegally a centerpiece of his campaign, and he is following through during the first months of his administration, but it is a costly, resource-intensive endeavor.
Okay.
That it is.
I'm going to, where I give criticism, I will give praise. This is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, because remember what Tom Homan said, like in the beginning, he was like, if you leave on your own, we won't come after you. And you'll have a chance in the future to apply for citizenship and try to come back in later years. You know?
So,
now they're sweetening that deal. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're sweetening the deal. And so it's classic carrot stick approach. Only this time we showed them the stick first. We showed them what the stick looks like with the mass roundups and dumping people in El Salvador and sending select others to get them. Okay, we've shown you the stick. Here's the carrot. That stick is pretty damn awful. This carrot, it's not the best in the world, but it's a hell of a lot better than the stick. So, yeah.
And that's why I'm saying, like, with this whole Alcatraz talk, it might just be like we're strengthening our prisons. We're bringing the worst prisons back. Like, you want to potentially go there now?
You've convinced me it's a less bad idea. You still have yet to convince me it's a totally bad idea.
I know. I was working hard on my time doing my research, trying to find some ways. No, but okay. So there's a couple of things. How much are we paying on illegals now? How much like that they're here? How much money for the Roosevelt Hotel?
Actually, I think ChatGPT broke that down for us a little bit in the outline. Let me see here.
Oh,
I think it did.
Let me see. I didn't look.
Well,
I don't see any specific numbers on
no,
there.
No,
but it's in the billions. The amount of money that's been spent over the past 4 years. It's a ton of money and counting.
At the end of the day, if you get enough of them, this is the cheaper option. It's cheaper just to buy them a plane ticket, give them $1,000 in travelers check and say, have a nice day.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, if you want to come back, go through the right channels. At the end.
And I mean, listen, people might get upset with me for saying this, but this is just a thought that came in my head. Playing devil's advocate a little bit here. There's that CBP app, right? The one that was set up, allegedly ushering people in and kind of encouraging people to come here, giving them a pathway to skirt around our asylum seeking process. Right. So, yes, I'm sure that there was an idea that they were doing the wrong thing. But if you have an leadership of a strong nation such as this, basically opening the door for you and rolling out the red carpet, you're going to rush on in here, and a lot of people, knew that they were going to come here and they were going to get benefits and all this stuff. So they ran over here. Now it's like, okay, psych, you really can't stay here. It really wasn't legal for you to do what you did and come here. And the people that told you it was okay, they did something illegal as well. So now we understand that. We understand that we had some corrupt people in government that made it seem like it was okay for you to come here. There was a lot of crap going on with that. And we're gonna bite the bullet, and we'll help you get on out of here. We understand that it's gonna be hard for you now that you're here to get out and get home from where you came from. So here's some money to, to go on out. So I feel like, because at first when I seen it, my first reaction was, don't they get enough money? They get all this, like, these benefits and this monthly stipends and this free this and free that. And I'm just like, we're going to give them more money now. But I'm like, you know what? Balancing it out, it makes sense.
Yes, like Doug says, use the app, leave now.
Mm-hmm.
Take the plane ticket, take the check. It's less trouble for you. At the end of the day, it's cheaper for the government. It's less trouble for everybody involved.
And they'll identify themselves as well.
Go on now. Get.
Right. 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 Thank you for coming. You don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just, I wonder how many are going to take. I think it would be smart. I mean, a lot of them might think like, hey, maybe we'll wait it out and we'll see what happens with the courts.
Yeah.
I'm sure, a lot of the Democrats out there like AOC and all of them are going to be encouraging people to, to stand strong and, wait it out. And they're going to utilize all these judges to make it seem like it's going to go through. And, it's so crazy that they're trying to promote like, okay, these people need to go through due process. If there were actually 20 million illegal migrants that flooded on in here, as Trump always says, we get all these different numbers all the time, but can you imagine all of these people having to go through the courts? It's insane. Yeah. And they knew that. They knew when they allowed this flood to come in that if they had to leave at some point, that it was going to be a trickle out effect, and a lot of people were going to fall through those cracks.
Well, it's perfect strategy that they turned the spigot on. They said, oh no, there's all these crises around the world. We have to let these people in. We have to give them an expedited asylum process in many cases. So now that, Daddy Trump's back in charge, and he's saying, well, okay, no, these people got to go. And they're saying, oh no, they need full due process. Mm-hmm. Well, wait a second. If they were allowed in on an expedited process, then why the hell can't we get them out of here on an expedited process?
Right. I mean, the government, the ones, they always like to say, oh, we're in an emergency, so we have to take away your rights right now, just like they did with COVID.
Right.
But we're not in an emergency right now, where we have gang members running around our streets hurting citizens. That's not an emergency to you guys? No, a virus that 99.9% lethal. That's an emergency where you can take all our rights away.
Oh, I'm setting a rumble. I'm not looking too closely at that. Anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it might just be one of those things where he said, make Canada a 51st state, and it's something that's said, and maybe we'll see, kind of thing, or he might be for real. We'll just have to see. I would really love to know where he's going to say like the funding for that will come from, because I'm sure he'll try to say we'll take it from here, we'll put it there.
Right.
Because he likes to repurpose funds. So, we'll see. But yeah, I'm all for it. And I think it would be, I mean, I doubt there are any illegal migrants listening to my voice right now, but if there are, I think you guys should take the deal. I think you should take it. I think you should
do the math, take the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you still think you've got to be here, then do it the right way.
Come back the right way. Exactly. And we'll be glad to have you.
Yeah.
So should we move on to,
Yeah, real briefly, because I think this is something that's going to go on for a couple, 3 days probably, and so it's going to kind of fill the news cycle. So yeah.
All right, ABC News. What's the geographic breakdown of the cardinals who will elect the new pope? Cardinals hailing from 71 different countries will begin electing a pope this week in the most geographically diverse conclave in history. There is no rule that cardinals electing a new pope vote a certain way according to their nationality or region, but understanding their makeup in geographic terms can help explain some of their priorities as they open the conclave Wednesday to choose a new leader of the 1.4 billion strong Catholic Church. A cardinal who heads the Vatican's liturgy office might have a very different set of concerns that the Archbishop of Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, a cardinal who runs a large European archdiocese with hundreds of priests, likely has other priorities than the Vatican ambassador ministering to war-torn Syria, or the Archbishop of Managua, Nicaragua, whose church has been under siege by the government. So, that makes sense that they all have their own concerns. So that's why you have a representative from all these different areas. There are currently 135 cardinals who are under age 80 and eligible to vote in the conclave, hailing from 71 different countries in the most geographically diverse conclave in history. Already 2 have formally told the Holy See that they can not attend for health reasons, bringing the number of men who will enter the Sistine Chapel down to 133. 2/3 majority is needed to be elected pope, meaning that if the number of electors holds at 133, the winner must secure 89 votes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Breakdown. So about what you expect: 53 from Europe, 17 of whom are Italian. Most of the country. 23 from the Middle East, Asia, Middle East. 18 from Africa, North America 16. 10 of whom are America, 4 Canadian, and 2 are Mexican, and 17 from South America. That's no surprise. I'm actually surprised North America has that many voting members. I mean, I know there's a huge Catholic population in the United States, but 10 voting cardinals. Seems to me like that's quite a bit. But
Yeah.
what do I know?
Yeah, I think in South America they have a larger population of Catholics.
Well, yeah, I mean, the majority, you go south of the Rio Grande, the majority of those countries are default Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That was one thing that we talked about in the beginning when they were trying to get people to come over here from South America and embrace all the new woke cultures and stuff. And it's like the people that are coming from there, they are super conservative and
Right.
followers of Christ. Like, I don't know what you think
Yeah.
you're gonna get when they come over here.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anything
we shall see
interesting
what goes on with
about
that.
this?
I saw go ahead.
Here's kind of an interesting chart here that I just saw on X.
I think it's the same thing I was just pointing at. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We're right there together. Yeah.
Yeah. So, looks like your average conclave, about 3 days. The longest one in recent memory I'm seeing here is 1903, 5 days for Pope Pius.
That's a crazy
Pope Pius
name.
X. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and his successor in name, the 11th, also took 5 days. So.
Oh, and we had a Pope Benedict in 1914. Wow. Did they change? I didn't even look it up, but did they change? They change their names when they become Pope, right?
Yeah, that's a thing. They changed to a papal name.
That explains why they all have like similar names. Yeah.
Same reason why in a lot of European monarchies, prince whoever, when they become king whoever. Look back at the history of the British monarchy. That happened quite a bit.
It's kind of odd to think about, but I know you had asked the question about, whether it's going to be a more conservative pope or, a more, but it's so odd to think about, right? Because, you hear about like the ballots and the electors and whether
Yeah.
they're conservative or not. And it's like, it's almost like we're talking about politicians, but we're talking about a representative of God on earth. Well,
fair statement, but if you don't think that thing's political, then
no, I know. I mean, it's more of a realist to think the other way, but I just it kind of cheapens it for me. It's just kind of weird.
yeah.
But I mean, it is the process. I mean, somebody has to be the pope. Obviously, they can't just leave it open. And how are you going to get there without a consensus from everybody else? But it just sounds so weird.
It's the way they've done it for 2,000 years. So
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I mean, even look, if you go all the way down, there's like an AF post, and it looks like it's like the conservatives, the centrists, and the liberals. It's like that span. It looks just like Congress. It's so weird.
See, which tab am I actually sharing right now? Let's see. Well, okay, since we're treating it like it's politics, just for poops and giggles.
I know. You have to use the good word when you're talking about this.
See, I guarantee. Yep. First thing that pops up, check it out. Polymarket.
Oh no.
Right there.
Oh my goodness.
Who will be the next pope? Well, let's see what the odds say. Let's see what the market odds say. Let's see. He's on top here. Okay, come on, computer, cooperate with me. Okay, so looks like the leader in the market is Pietro Parolin, but at the moment he's on a downward trend. But looks like the rest of these front runners are all holding steady. So yeah, kind of crazy to talk about, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm trying to like look up to kind of see, where they lean more. And I mean, listen, does it have to really be that hard? Do you have to have all these opposing views? I mean, can't you just, I don't know, follow the Bible? Is it really that open for interpretation? Can't you just follow it to the letter? It just seems like it should be more simple than this.
Yeah. Seems like.
Well, we'll see. We'll see who's gonna be crowned the next pope. Probably. It's been a while. Is it usually take this long to set up a conclave? Because when did he pass? April 20.
I think they're right in line with what they normally do. The last guy passes, they
have to have their funeral. Yeah.
They bury the guy, or inter the guy, I should say. And
yeah.
Then they can get the business of choosing the successor.
All right. So maybe we'll find out sometime like later this week.
Yeah, like, as the chart said, if it holds true to form, I believe it starts tomorrow, or actually in a few hours, because European time's ahead of us.
Right.
And then if form holds true, we should probably know something by Wednesday. Yeah. Tomorrow Wednesday? Yeah. No, tomorrow's
Tuesday. Yeah.
Losing track of time.
Yeah, I wish tomorrow was Wednesday.
We should know something by Wednesday, Thursday. So.
All right. Well, if we know, we'll let you guys know.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. you got a good news story, kind of local focused. Like to
Yeah.
point out around here. You want to take this one on, Betty?
Sure. Okay, so this is coming to you from BET. Louisiana valedictorian secures nearly
Of course, I
3.4
never thought
million.
I'd ever use on here.
$3.4 million in scholarships. A high school senior from Louisiana garners national attention after being named valedictorian and receiving scholarship offers totaling nearly $3.4 million. She graduated with an impressive 4.3 GPA, and according to reports, her academic excellence has earned her that scholarship and many offers. Beyond her scholastic achievements, Bell has demonstrated a strong commitment to leadership. Her name is Zoe Bell, and civic engagement. She served as a Senate page intern in Washington, D.C., gaining firsthand experience in the legislative process. For 2 years, she was vice president of leadership development for Jobs for America's Graduates, Louisiana, at both local and state levels. Among the numerous scholarships offered to her, Bell was awarded the prestigious Jack Kent Cooke and the Gates Awards. She chose the Jack Kent Cooke Scholarship because it extends through law school. Bell plans to attend New York University, where she's been accepted into the esteemed Gallatin School of Individualized Study, allowing her to tailor her academic pursuits to her interests.
What a shame.
Well,
Well, it's good for her that she's won all these academic accolades. It's a shame to her that she's going to go to New York University, where all of that potential, all of that intellect, I'm afraid, will be radicalized and weaponized to the left.
Maybe she'll run into Barron Trump, and they'll become fast friends, and she'll go down the right path.
I'm sorry, that was supposed to be a good news story, and I black-pilled the hell.
No, it's okay. I mean, all of our institutions are really tainted right now, no matter where you go, really. There's a threatening, that whole woke virus that's, streaming through the campuses. But, life must go on. I mean, these kids can't just wait for everything to, fix itself. They got to go on. And, especially if you're trying to become an attorney, I don't know if that's, she took this specific scholarship because its support extends through law school. So I imagine, maybe she's trying to do some political science. Maybe we'll see her in the Senate in the future. So she's got to go through the school system, and, hopefully she understands, because she works super hard to get where she is. She understands that that's what got her there. And, she doesn't let any of that static taint her mind, and she can become something wonderful. I mean, I like the whole idea of development for Jobs for American Graduates. I mean, there's so many kids out there that graduate and they don't even end up in jobs that are under their field of study. It's so. I mean, that's a noble cause, and it would be really cool if she can work on that and do something amazing. I mean, she's a bright young mind, and when they're young like that, they have their whole life ahead of them. They're ready to go. Hopefully she uses her intellect for something good, something positive.
Absolutely. And, I pray for that young lady. I pray for every young person that's getting ready to graduate, or
me too.
I mean, hell, they're starting this weekend mostly.
Yeah.
So pray for all of them as they enter, higher education or the workforce, en masse for the first time. You know?
I mean, like here at Roman Nation, right, we always talk about post-cancel culture, and you think about the Marxism and all the crap that's gone on in this country, people, just degrading our institutions and our loves and things that we hold dear for years and years and years, and just making it like we have nothing to turn to be proud of, to be happy about, So the only way we can combat that is to just move on with our lives and push past all of that static and come out well on the other end. Yeah, I know we got another feel-good story. Well, I mean, it's not a feel-good story. It's kind of like
It's
a what?
something different. It's something different. Like what?
It's something different. Yeah, it's kind of like a what, but yeah, it's not as serious as everything else.
I mean, if you want to drag your better half in here, if he's in earshot to explain this better, feel free.
He already gave me a pep talk in the dugout, so I'm ready. I think I got all the terms.
Okay.
All right. All right, so go to for the New York Post. Keith Hernandez, his odd moment during the Mets game. Quote, I know you're not supposed to say it. The legendary Mets broadcaster described Cardinals outfielder Victor Scott II's attempt at bunting for a hit as a drag bunt, which is a real baseball term. It's been there forever. But seemed to hint at some censorship on SNY's broadcast in the process. So I don't know if this was something that they told him ahead of time. This is something that they said like not to say these things, or if he just did of his own volition. But this is shades of Bud Harrelson, who was terrific. He says, I know you're not supposed to say it, but they call it a different term. But in our day, it was a drag bunt, said Hernandez, as the Mets were swept in the doubleheader 6-5 and 5-4. Scott's bunt single to third base occurred in the second game of Sunday's doubleheader, where he reached first against rookie pitcher Blake Tidwell. Oh, Tidwell, look at that.
No
Hernandez.
relation.
He has the same initials as you too, which is kind of cool. Hernandez's comments did leave some confused, as never specified what the new terminology is. It's like, okay, so you're saying we don't use that term anymore, but it is a baseball, action. It is a term in baseball. So if you're not supposed to use drag bunt, what are you supposed to use then? And that's exactly what commentator on the New York Post Sports YouTube channel asked. I've never heard of another term, so what else is it? Typically, a drag bunt occurs when a left-handed hitter begins running to first base while dragging his bat with him to bunt and run simultaneously to get on base or sacrifice himself for a runner to advance to a base. So, like if you were bunting, you would pop it, and that would kind of like give it more inertia, so that way the fielders can grab it quicker and get to you faster. So this just kind of like brings it along with the bat, so that way you have more time to run. And it's quite effective too, because I know we have a little clip from Mickey Mantle in the X Post, and he kind of like explains a little bit of why it works and why you can kind of hide what you're going to do to the pitcher and the fielders. Because like with a regular bunt, you would start up here and it would kind of show like motion to everybody that that's where you're going with that. Rather with this, you stay with your stance and you kind of move your leg and you hit the ball. Yeah, if you go down just a bit. Did you refresh? Hold on. Hold on, I'll put it in the private chat. It'll be easier for you to grab it.
Sorry, I just scrolled past that.
But yeah, I put the link in the private chat. It's we got Mickey Mantle, who's teaching a fantasy camp in Florida how to drag bunt.
All right, let me fix that.
He said, I made it from home to first in 3.1 seconds.
Hey, here we go.
Yeah.
Never see anybody do it anymore. I don't know if you guys can remember how I used to drag bunt. You hardly ever see anybody do it anymore. But they do it wrong in the first place. First of all, you try not to give it away. The drag bunt, you don't have to give it away. But your first move is your back foot toward the pitcher like this. And by the time you hit the ball, I made it from home to first 3-1. But the reason I did, nobody does it unless it's 3-4, hardly ever. But the reason I did, they time me from the time the ball hits the bat. And by the time the ball hit my bat, I was running. I was going to first. But the way they do it nowadays, most of them anyway, the ones I've seen on TV, the first move they do is like this. Well, if the ball's on the outside part of the plate, they can't reach it. But if you take your left foot, your back foot, and step right over your front foot, you're in fair territory already. And all you have to do is just, if you can run it all, is just get it past the pitcher, make the second baseman or the first baseman field it. You can tell your kids that. I'm thinking you guys have been.
That's Mickey Mantle. Wow, it's so crazy. How cool. But yeah, so and he was a switch hitter too, so he had to know how to do that both sides.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of weird. It's like what happened? Is it just like people are just so brainwashed, especially in the media, that anything that has like a word in it that could be another word, now they think they can't say it? Like they censor themselves?
You just use the term switch hitter, which is an ancient baseball term, from going way back, a guy that could hit from either side of the plate.
Mm-hmm.
But now that has entirely different connotations, social connotations, if you know what I mean.
I do. You ever seen the movie 61? It was Billy Crystal produced it. And it was about the M&M boys, Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris, when they were going after Babe Ruth's record for most home runs in a season. And Mickey Mantle, the character, was saying, he was talking about some girl or whatever, and he said that she came up to him and said, I thought you were a homosexual. He said, because I heard you were a switch hitter. But he actually made that joke in the movie. Would Aaron say baseball is the only sport that features a bunch of men playing with their it's still boring.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, until he blew his knees out. And yeah. A lot of those guys back in the day, they played hurt too. I mean, guys these days, they get like a splinter and they cry to the dugout. These guys, I mean, I'm ambidextrous. Oh. But yeah, I just think it's comical. It's really freaking funny. I mean, they need to chillax with all of this stupidity and stop changing words and meanings and things.
Yeah.
Just stop. Especially in something that's supposed to be fun. Like, you gotta even bring that in there. Just talk. Like, and if somebody says something, then you deal with it then. But like, for real. But anywho.
But honestly, in the broadcaster's defense here, working with standards and practices and whatnot, what's okay to say one day is not okay to say the next day. So maybe that's where that came from.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're brainwashed. Anything that has any kind of word in it that could possibly mean some kind of new woke social justice, whatever, protective class, whatever. Anywhere near it, it's like, they start to twitch. Like you can't even freely speak anymore. Like, free speech and all that. But yeah. Is it Caption This time?
It is Caption This time. So I probably should have fed the AI something to do with Cinco de Mayo, but I didn't want to run the risk of coming back with anything that was going to be, flagged as, problematic, racist, insensitive, cultural appropriation, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I really fear that kind of retribution. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and play my not mine, it's made for us, but somebody made it for us, so I hate not to use it. So here's our bump.
Oh,
yesterday was May the 4th.
Yeah.
Yesterday was May the 4th, Star Wars Day.
This guy's
May the 4th be with you, brother. Ooh,
damn,
yeah.
Too bad he wasn't holding like a Slim Jim. That would be so cool. All right, well, you guys know the game. It's Caption This. We got our AI generated photo here, and you give us your funniest captions, and we pick the winner at the end. So break out your funny bone. I'm gonna try and see if I got anything.
And while you're thinking about that, I got to go take care of something right quick.
Okay. All right, let's see. Why is Randy Savage a Jedi? Jedi Brandon Herrera. Nice, Lethal. If you guys didn't know, I'm reading the Rumble chat. If you're here listening from any of the other platforms, definitely, think about going over to Rumble and supporting Rumble, because, we gotta support Rumble, man. They give everybody platforms to speak freely. Did Randy Savage train with Luke Skywalker? Maybe. Probably would have brought the Empire down a lot quicker. I can't think. Let's see. I wish I was better at like Star Wars referencing. The only Jedi with a finishing move called the Force Elbow.
Right, so there's Biddy. Snap into the Force. Oh, yeah.
I waited for you to come back because I wanted the guy's voice to say it. I needed that guy growl.
The only Jedi with finishing move called the Force Elbow. DG, do you intend this to be a caption submission? I guess I'm no switch here. That's a bad, yeah.
Brandon Herrera. We got some submissions on Rumble. I'm over here reading them too.
Oh.
Brandon Herrera cosplaying on my 4th.
From Lethal. Randy Savage. Jedi Brandon Herrera. Okay. May 4th. Okay. That makes more sense.
Brandon Herrera cosplaying on May 4th. Oh yeah, why? I should have just known, but for some reason it didn't click. The Force is strong with this one, and so is the court order. I got nothing. That was literally all I had, was the one that I put.
I'm shocked Aaron hadn't come up with anything yet.
His lightsaber hums in a minor key. It's clinically depressed.
No.
All right. How long should we leave it to? 9:57, maybe?
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm kind of disappointed I haven't seen a submission yet from Aaron or the boss or.
Oh, Fashnik is filling our chats. Lovely. Promise to bring balance to the Force, interpreted as equal opportunity destruction. Nice.
Let's see here.
Oh, Aaron went over to Rumble. And she said, I got nothing.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Nothing YouTube friendly.
Mm.
All right.
Man, now I want to know what she was going to say.
I guess we'll find out later in the Discord.
Yes. And you can go, wait, am I going to get it? Yeah. You can go right up to the top of the screen there. This guy,
Yeah,
you know.
up there.
That guy. Yeah.
Up there.
My hand is missing because of my...
Yeah. Because your green screen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you can get our website up there, and you can join the Discord. Hang out with us.
Honestly, what time is it? Give it another minute.
Okay.
Honestly, so far, this is the best one I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, that might...
Oh.
Lightsaber isn't the only thing that glows in the dark.
Okay.
All right.
She DM'd it to me. Yeah, we're not throwing that up there.
Uh-oh, okay. I heard the little peep in the back, too.
Yeah.
All right, so it's 9:57. Should we just call it for Vash?
I think we call it for Vash, yeah. The Force
All right.
elbow.
Nice. Congratulations, Vash. Good caption.
And okay, so yeah, this is I'm supposed to bring up the website, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we got that website that we were just talking about, riseofmiddleamerica.com. You could use the QR code. You can type it in. This is where this is like the hub. So you can get everything here. All our videos. You get access to our YouTube, our X, Rumble, Discord, everything. You can see all the hosts on here, who you expect to see on all the shows. And you can also get our merch.
Digitally altered here.
Yeah. Yep. That's the crew
merch.
there. You can get merch there, and that's basically once we do our championship round for the Caption This. That's where also you're going to find the winning caption photo shirt with the caption on it. The person who wins will get that shirt plus a Roman Nation hat of a different color signed by Filibante from All That Remains in Timcast. So we got some cool stuff here. I know, Brian, you own the Air Motherfucker. Do you bend it? Yep, the Sunset Rants camo hat. Yep. That one was definitely made for you.
Yeah, I don't like the style, the actual style of the hat. That's more of a trucker style hat. I like more of a baseball style hat. But anyway, you know.
Oh, this one, it's like more flat here. You can't bend it, right?
Yeah, like the Rolling Stones said, you can't always get what you want, but sometimes you might just find you'll get what you need.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a cool way to support the channel, support everything we're trying to do here, and get yourself some cool stuff to rock. We need a bandana. Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
Yeah, I'm surprised the do-rag hadn't come out yet. I know that's something that's got to be in the damn works. Yeah.
Soon. Maybe in the next load up. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us as always here on Sunset Rants. I'm Biddy, your host, and here with our producer Brian, who's hosting with me tonight. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great Monday evening, and we'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, everybody.
Bye. And here we go with, you know what?
So I got to thinking, there's MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. MAGA, Make America Great Again. But what we really need to do is make America follow the Constitution again. Motherfucker. That sounded better in my head.